Is this thing on?
Twisted, baby, I'm a goner. I'm a monster. Don't listen to what I say, cause I say things that I don't mean. When the liquor speak, don't wanna break your pretty heart, cause I love to lay when laying this next to you.
Alright, ladies and gents, welcome to Joe Macari, probably the most insane car dealership I've ever set foot in. In fact, absolutely. When I did walk into this dealership, I kid you not, I nearly started crying because the stock in here is just a completely different caliber to Australia. There is the most amazing selection of cars, including some that are worth upwards of 20, maybe even 30 or more $1 million. This is genuinely dreamland for me, and I cannot be more excited to be here. There is only one catch with this video, which is that I only have 10 gigabytes of storage space on my phone left to film this, but other than that, let's go look around the cars. Now, unfortunately, the sunlight in here isn't really doing my camera any favors today, but you can see back there, there is an absolutely extraordinary selection of cars, which we will get to later, but first of all, I think I'm just going to walk around every single car in the dealership before we check out some more of them in greater detail. So, starting out, we have an Aston Martin DBS V12, the predecessor to the Aston Martin Vanquish and the DBS Superleggera, and then a Ferrari 550 Maranello, but the special thing about this one is that it has a gated manual transmission. That would inflate this car's price by quite a lot, and the spec is also on point. Cream interior with a, I think, blue Tour de France exterior. Very, very nice car. Whoever buys that is a very lucky person. As is this car. I mean, buying this is also going to make you a very lucky person. A Ferrari 512 BB. You might remember that I saw one in a very similar spec at Brisbane during the Ferrari Passion Day. However, I mean, this one feels almost like nothing compared to its surroundings. Although there is a second very similar car to this, which I'll get to later. Beside that is a Ferrari 812 Superfast in a very nice narrow specification. In another black car, we have the Aston Martin Vanquish, and this isn't the newer Vanquish, this is the Vanquish of the early 2000s, which you do not see many of nowadays. Not very reliable cars, but you still hear very good things about them. Over here we have a Bentley. Now, I'll be honest, I really don't know too much about this car, so I hope it's not super special, otherwise I'm going to be kicking myself later. Alright, hi guys, this is me from the future here, doing some editing, and as you just saw in the video, I just completely walked past this Bentley S2 Continental Sport Saloon, because I had absolutely no idea what it was. And it turns out that this is one of only 71 ever produced in right-hand drive, so this is pretty much going to become a bit of a running theme in today's video. I'm going to keep interrupting myself because I keep finding out very special information about these very special cars that I didn't know at the time of filming. And then over there, Audi RSQ8, but I mean, you guys probably don't care about that. We have a Ferrari 458 Italia right here, and then one here and one there, Ferrari 275 Cabriolets. Now, I'm not really too well versed in my older Ferraris, which is probably not very good given there are quite a few in here, but anyway, if there's any key information I'm missing out, I will probably do a voiceover right about now. Yep, so as it turns out, these are actually Ferrari 275 GTSs, not 275 Cabriolets. I don't think that even exists. But Ferrari made around 200 of these for the entire world, and given that we have 2 of them right here, that means that we have around 1% of the entire production run in this showroom together. And over there is a Lancia Delta Integrale, one of the most highly coveted hatchbacks in the entire world to ever be produced. Very, very successful rally car back in its day. Now, I don't know exactly which specific type of Delta Integrale that is, so I'm hoping that it's not a super special variant, otherwise, once again, I might be kicking myself. Would you believe it? It's a super special model. So, as it turns out, this is actually a Lancia Delta Futurista, which is a resto mod by a company called Automobili Amos, who made only 20 of these for the entire world at a price of $350,000 per unit. Over here, we have a Aston Martin Vantage. This is the original Vantage from like the 80s, 90s. Again, a car I'm not too well versed with. And then over here, we have a Ferrari FF. Moving past this Mercedes-Benz 300 SEL, we get to, well, a Fiat with Winnie the Pooh in it, and also a Porsche 911 991.1 GT3 RS with an orange roll cage inside, which makes it an almost identical spec to this 997 GT3 RS. That one has a red roll cage, but both painted in white with black wheels, so very nice to see some matching specifications going on. And then in front of you right now is a Ferrari 575 Super America. I believe they only made 559, and I've only ever seen 2. One of the funny things about the 575 Super America, the hardtop, the way it attaches to the car when you want it to, be over your head, is that it essentially just flips up over, which means if there's water already here, then you're essentially just gonna be dunking water on your head, which is probably not a very good design choice, but anyway, yeah, we'll get to that later. And then behind those, I should probably talk about those as well. We have a Grigio something Ferrari F12 Berlinetto, and then another similar but not quite identical shade of blue on this Ferrari GTC Forliso, and this is the V12 version, not the T V8 version. And then finally over here, we have an Aston Martin DBR9 race car, and my favorite thing about this car is, we just crash down here, we've got some side-mounted exhaust pipes, which is very, very cool. Next up, we have a Maserati MC20 V6 sports car, one of the more modern cars in this showroom, as is the McLaren 720S beside it. And then moving past that, we have another Aston Martin. I think that's a DBS Volante, judging by the headlights, I think it is. And over here, we have some form of Ferrari 250 Cabriolet. It's probably worth quite a lot of money. And I wish I knew more information about it so I could tell you guys, because no doubt this is worth a lot of money and is very special. And beside that, we have a Jaguar E-Type Roadster, another Fiat over there, and then Winnie the Pooh seems to have quite the car collection, because he also is driving this Ferrari 512 BBI, which is essentially the successor to the 512 BB, just like an updated version, because as you can see, they're very, very similar cars. And then, you might have seen, I just walked past this, a full exposed carbon fiber Dallara Stradale. This is a relatively unknown brand. They're more known for making racing car chassis. For example, Formula 2 cars, I believe, have their chassis made by Dallara. And the interesting thing about this car is that it's quite customizable. It has gull-wing doors up there, as you can see, but they are actually completely detachable, which means you can have a full roadster driving experience, or you could opt to remove the windscreen entirely and drive in the style of a, Ferrari Monza SP2 or something like that. I don't think I've actually seen a car in full exposed carbon fiber before, and in person, in this green shade, it looks really good. And unfortunately, this is a bit of a cliche, but as per most YouTube videos, it just doesn't look the same on the screen as it does in person. So if you are lucky enough to live in London, would definitely recommend popping down here to check it out for yourself. Very, very rare cars, these as well. It's my first time seeing one. Now, being a fan of Doctor Who, I'm pretty happy to see this Dalek prop in here right now. And there are actually quite a few interesting props and artworks around the dealership. It's quite a nice place. However, the main event is obviously these cars, which, I suppose let's get to right now. Right, over there is Pink Panther, who is driving a Ferrari 599 GTB, and that is painted in Rosso Mugello, which is a very nice sort of dark wine red color. You don't see it on too many Ferraris. And then over here is a very interesting color for this Ferrari GTC Forliso. It looks sort of purplish, but I believe it's a blue something. Again, I don't really know my paint colors off the top of my head, which is perhaps a bit disappointing. I should have done my research. Oh well. Anyway, you guys probably want me to talk about this Ferrari F50, one of the most iconic poster cars of the 90s generation, and this is my first time seeing one, so I might not sound like it, but I am completely buzzing right now. Where do I even begin? Iconic in almost every single way, including the rear wing, V12 engine, manual transmission, removable roof. What's not to love about a Ferrari F50? One of the 5 Ferrari Halo cars. First came the Ferrari 288 GTO, then the F40, then this, the F50, the Ferrari Enzo, and then the LaFerrari. Now, if you watched my previous video, you'll know that I just saw my first LaFerrari only yesterday, I'm pretty sure, for me, although it might be a couple days or weeks ago for you. And this is the LaFerrari Aperta, which is the soft top variant, so you can remove the roof and drive it without a roof, which makes it a slightly different driving experience to the regular LaFerrari, although fundamentally they share many of the same internals. And I won't skip past this. This is the Ferrari 275 GTB. Not sure it's a 2-cam or a 4-cam. They made two slightly different versions with different engines, but the paint color is quite nice. It might be Grigio Ingrid or it might be something else, but it's a very nice sort of champagne goldish color. And then over here, I mean, Back to the Future fans will absolutely be going crazy right now because, I mean, you can see this is a virtually identical car to the one you see in the movie. Knowing Joe Macari, it could be possible this is the exact car, but if it's a replica, it's still been done very, very well. And I mean, rumor has it, if this car hits 88 miles per hour, the flux capacitor in there is going to send it back or forwards in time. Yeah, pretty cool. I've seen a couple of DMC DeLoreans before, but this is the first time I've seen one that's literally just like the one in the movie. Absolutely iconic car. Now, I'll stop stalling now and let's get to the rest of the cars in this lineup. Now, we've already talked about the left Ferrari Aperta, but this, I'll just give you a couple seconds to guess what it is. It has a McLaren badge in the front, rear wing, and a roof scoop. Believe it or not, guys, that is a McLaren F1 GTR. Now, unfortunately, we can't have the cover off to film the car properly, but you'll have to believe me, that is one of the 106 McLaren F1s ever produced. Very, very valuable car, worth upwards of 30 or 40, probably more, million Australian dollars. What an absolute icon. I am feeling very fortunate that I am able to see this car in person. Next to that is some sort of Ferrari. I wish I knew which type. Probably a 250 something, although I know this is a 250 something. This is a 250 GT Berlinetta, and it could be a Berlinetta Lisso short wheelbase, but again, I'm not 100% sure, so editor me is probably going to be doing all the research and telling you guys what their actual details are right now. As it turns out, these are two of the most legendary Ferrari models of all time, both of which are Ferrari 250 GT short wheelbases. The one on the right is a Competizione, and the one on the left is a California Spider. Next up, we have another Ferrari 275 GTB. Again, not sure it's a 4-cam or a 2-cam, but otherwise still very special. And then over here, we have a Lamborghini Miura. This one has the gold wheels and gold sort of side skirt, which is very cool to see. I'm not sure what specific model of Miura this is, but I know that if it was a Miura SV, which it isn't, it wouldn't have these eyelashes over the headlights. But this one does, which means it's either a Miura S or just a regular Miura. Next up, we have another car under a cover, but believe me, this is almost as special as McLaren F1. This is a Porsche 917. Again, not sure what specific model of 917, what the livery is, etc. And moving on, we have two Bugattis, both of which I have never seen before. First of all, we have a EB110 Super Sport. This one has a red interior over silver exterior, and the way you can tell a difference between the Super Sport and the regular EB110 is that the rear sort of section there on the Super Sport has these holes, as you can see, but the regular one doesn't. And I've just noticed that this one says it's a Dauer EB110 Super Sport. So from what I know, Dauer were a company which essentially finished building the rest of the EB110 Super Sports after the Bugatti company at the time went bust. However, after they finished building the Dauer ones, the company was bought out by Volkswagen, where they produced the Bugatti Veyron. Now, this is the 1,350 horsepower version, which is dubbed the Super Sport. So we have two Super Sports right here, really. This spec is absolutely phenomenal. It is, I mean, I don't know what the color is, but it is brown, and I mean, I'm not sure if I said this on YouTube before, but I love brown cars. A brown 812 GTS would probably be one of my favorite cars ever. And then on the inside, it has orange Hermes looking leather. Not quite sure if that's what the company calls it, but I think regardless, it is a very, very phenomenal spec. And finally, we have a Mercedes-Benz race car. I believe this is a CLK LM. No doubt this is worth quite a lot. And interestingly, it has lime green wing mirrors. I wonder if that's regulation or just a design choice. Something I just noticed about the Ferrari LaFerrari Aperta right here is, one, it has the stripe livery that you see on most of the Apertas, but more interestingly, it also has the Ferrari FXXK wheels. Normally, the Ferrari LaFerraris are fitted with their own, LaFerrari wheels, but the FXXK is the special race car version of this car, and usually you wouldn't expect to see FXXK wheels on a car like this, but this one has them. Another random thing, I'm pretty sure this is a fridge, but it's made out of carbon fiber. Not sure how many fridges or cabinets exist that are made out of carbon fiber, but that is certainly quite an interesting thing. Okay, so I've just come around the back of Joe Macari. Don't worry, I got permission to be here. And there's two rather nice cars here. First of all is this Audi RS6, but those are fairly common in contrast to, I mean, you guys know the badge. This is a Maybach 62S. These things, I mean, I do not know how common they are, but I know that they are not common. As you can see, extended wheelbase. The regular wheelbase version was called the 57, I believe. And this was essentially Mercedes-Benz's attempt to create a Rolls-Royce equivalent with very nice interior and, I mean, very appealing amount of room in the rear. However, people didn't really end up buying too many of these, mostly because they were essentially just rebadged S-classes. So as a result, the Maybach brand sort of ceased to exist. Very, very nice to see this, and I think this is the second one I've seen this trip. If it is, I'll pop up a video of the other one that I saw right now. Otherwise, it's probably just the same car. Right, so it turns out I have 4 gigabytes left, which gives me the opportunity to tell you guys to, if you want to, do me a favor, which is share this video with someone that you know so that they can watch this video as well as you. Because that way, this video will get double the exposure and I'll be able to help grow the channel. And if you want to support me further, then feel free to give a like to the video, leave a comment, and if you're feeling extra generous, subscribe to the channel because I'm nearly at 200 subscribers, I think. And my audio cut out, so I'm pretty much going to have to finish this video with a voiceover. So that's pretty much the end of today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching it. I know I had an absolute blast making it. If you've never been down to Joe Macari before, I would 100,000,000% recommend it. It is one of the most amazing dealerships in the entire world. This week's Spot of the Week is on your screen right now. If you guys would like to submit your own photos for next week's Spot of the Week, then hit up my Instagram where you can submit your photos for a chance to get featured. And other than that, the remainder of this video is going to be comprised of some clips that I took while I was at the dealership so you guys can appreciate these cars even more. Other than that, thanks for watching.